The pride. Yeah. And then we went Jung on that practice, and we said that for each of the preliminary practices and the quality of mind that it exposes, you can go even one step further into the shadow, and there you will find lurking in the dark something else at the root. So, for example, the prostration exposed pride, but pride is the obvious near enemy. But what is it? What is the shadow reference? Unworthiness. And so we did it. Let's do it again. Let's remember it. So then the other one was the bodhicitta, the generation of the altruistic intent. And that exposes the... What is it? Envy. And underneath the envy is the incompetence. Then there was the mandala offering, which is designed to expose the...
Grasping.
Yeah, greed and grasping, and then underneath that, shadow, scarcity. Then we had the purification practice of the Vajrasattva, which exposes the anger, and underneath that, fear. And then finally the Guru Yoga, which exposes the delusion. And then we had some debates because it's not like a clean science about what that might mean underneath. And I think if we're trying to talk about spiritual bypassing, I think mature people that understand the nature of their minds come to accept that there is a shadow. And they don't use it as a sneaky little thing to beat themselves up on, but they have a healthy respect for the fact that as long as there is consciousness, there is also shadow. You follow? And this is, again, I mean, Jung's brilliance. Is it in Freud? It's like a dirty thing. Like it's treated with the opposite of reverence is begins with a D. Maybe good enough. Like a disdain. That's it. It's treated with disdain. But where in Jung, there's just like this courage to admit. This is the nature of the psyche. As long as there's consciousness, there is an equal balustrade of unconsciousness. And within the unconsciousness, we have to come to accept that everything is within us. I mean, it's funny because everybody likes this notion of interconnectivity, right? It's a kind of a sexy thing and it's out there. Like everything is, you know, we're all connected, we're all one, and then you can't argue it, right? Because from the scientific point of view and the mystical point of view, it's true, right? But then what is also true about it that we don't want to look at? That also means we're also one with all the gunk in there. You know, like the incompetence and the unworthiness and the scarcity and the fear. We are also interconnected with all of those. They're also part of the net or the matrix. So any good student of their mind, if they adopt this kind of framework, are also beginning to let go of the naivete or hubris, whichever way, to accept this part of themselves. And I think that's actually a revolutionary act of courage. I don't think, I mean, that is indeed truly spiritual. I mean, because there's such a huge investment in looking spiritual, and yet how misguided some of that appearances really is, because there isn't really an investment in looking beneath the surface. You know what I mean? Like with my silly malas and all of this. You know? Pretending to be a teacher and, you know, all this accoutrement. And then you just like spend 15 minutes with Emily asking about what I'm like at home. And like all the insecurities. And then you start to go, well, what the hell's going on? That's not what I see. But then what's really going to be the integration? Integration is going to be like, yes, I can be like this, and I'm also like this. And what's the relationship between the two of them? If there's animosity, then you drive it subterranean. And when it's subterranean, it has more power. When you cast it out into the shadow, it has more power, because now it's controlling you from the places that you have no access to. So it's a very powerful image that the unconscious, from the Jungian point of view, is revealing things to you that might not be pleasant, but because it is recognizing its time, you can do it now. You can deal with your insecurity, you can deal with your scarcity, you can deal with your avarice, you can deal with your delusion, you can deal with this. It's time to include it. Was it the Rumi? Let them in. Guests. I mean, it sounds nice, like Rumi makes it beautiful, but how many of us really like it? And for how long do we like it? Months of it? Years of it? One of the funny things about the initiation is that most people want to finish the initiation quickly to get to the goodie. It's like, eat your peas before you have your cake. You remember that? Or maybe you liked your peas. I didn't like my peas. I wanted the cake. But the initiation, and certainly the ordeal, are so necessary, because that's where you're building the fiber, the moral fiber.